Welcome to Married to Movies. Industry insiders John Russell and Tracy Kring live and work happily in cinematrimony. They're sharing behind-the-scenes adventures of writing, producing, and appreciating films. Good morning, babe.
Good morning, babe. The Krings are back in town. Sing it with me. The Krings are back in town. No? I'm wearing this hat.
You are.
The reason I'm wearing this hat is...
Or is that hat wearing you?
Well, there is only a finite period of time.
Yes.
That I can wear this hat.
Between maybe July 2nd and maybe July 7th is really about it.
It's pretty late. And actually, I've never worn this hat this late. I've only worn it on July 4th.
Why didn't you wear it to the party last night? That would have been the perfect time to wear that hat.
You think?
Yeah.
But see, I had a whole outfit for the party.
You did.
Yeah. And it looked good.
Somebody said it looked like you were a newspaper.
I'm not wearing pants!
Oh, Lord.
This is a no pants podcast! Tracy, show them. You're not wearing pants either!
Something that I noticed this morning, which I was very impressed with, was you managed to match your underwear to that shirt.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I noticed that you did that.
Hey. Okay, so we're so tired. And have you ever noticed that when you get so tired...
You have really bad ideas.
No, it's like you're drunk.
Yeah, it's like being impaired.
Yes, well, more impaired. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have more sense if I'm drunk. I have more sense than I do when I'm deliriously tired.
Yes.
There's a barrel inside of me.
There's a barrel of, what is it, a barrel of sleep? A barrel of energy?
Energy.
Barrel of energy. Okay.
That comes from rest.
It comes from rest.
Right.
It can only come from rest.
Yeah, that comes from rest,
Right.
Being rested, like feeling like all the systems in your body are functioning fairly properly.
Correct.
And that barrel had been depleted.
Well, it was, and that barrel had dust in it.
And then it was a little leaky for a while. And I had just gotten it built back up. And then last night.
Right. Okay, so you're all probably wondering,
why was my barrel depleted?
What are they talking about?
We did a very crazy thing.
It was a crazy thing.
We made a movie in Atlanta.
We were hired to come and work with some wonderful female filmmakers. And the caveat, I love that word, caveat, was that it had to be done in 5 days.
Yeah, a feature film.
Feature movie.
And I told the director.
And it's not one of those like, well, it's 45 minutes, so it's a feature. No. Full feature, baby.
Yeah, it was a
full feature.
Yeah. Well, and quite honestly, I was talking to them and I was giving the counsel that I would give anyone, which was, that's not a thing that gets done. Like,
right.
I know Tyler Perry brags that he can make one in 5 days, but you also have to consider what he has as resources.
Tyler Perry is running it for all of us.
No, and also like the movie that he made, I mean, was it very good? I told the director after we finished and she could not believe that we had done this film in 5 days. I said, yeah, but I'm saying it on the podcast now, but I said, yes, but I don't really think that's something we should offer.
But here's the thing.
That we should tell people.
We said that. And we still tell everybody.
Yeah, but I want to say it with a caveat.
Oh, new use of caveat. Love it.
Which is, you shouldn't. Like, please don't. Please don't.
No.
Because,
I told somebody else and they said, well, is it any good?
Yeah, exactly. The question is, sure, you could do that and just like shit it out. Anybody could do that.
No, but we didn't, though. We didn't just shit it out.
Here's the thing.
There was no shit to be out.
I was talking to, this group of filmmakers, and I was, very interested in how they thought they could pull this off. Mm-hmm. And then I was getting pretty far down the line in talks with them, and I was like, oh, geez, do I actually want to do this? I felt ungrateful for even considering that I would go this far down the line and not take the job. And so I did a meditation and I was like trying to meditate on gratefulness.
I just want to point out that you just said you did a meditation and I didn't even roll my eyes.
Oh, good for
This
you.
is a growth that I have had.
I came out of that meditation and I had a clear head about it, and I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, I have the freedom to choose to do this or not to do this.
Right.
And I was leaning towards not doing it.
Yes.
And I said, but out of my meditation, I got that I cared about them and their
Right.
success, and I needed to help them.
Right.
So I needed to provide a suggestion of a person
Mm-hmm.
that could help them do this.
Right.
And I was just sitting there thinking and running through the list
There-
of
there-
filmmakers in my head.
There was no one. I mean, any filmmaker that we call and say, "Oh, by the way, you need to make a feature film.
I have a
in
gig
5
for
days.
you if you
Yes.
want it. You know, this is the stipulation.
Here's the money, and go kill yourself for this project."
Yeah, I mean, like, I was just thinking, like, I could call this one person,
Mm-mm.
and then some of them are men,
No,
which I
definitely
knew
not
they
them.
didn't want.
No, not them. Oh, they
And-
suck. No, not them.
No, it wasn't that they suck. It was just like, I think they're
Well,
gonna hang up on me.
The one I was just thinking of sucked.
Oh, they're gonna laugh at me
Yes.
and say, "This is stupid. Get out of my way."
Absolutely.
So
Rightly so.
I
Just like if
sat-
somebody would have called us and said that.
well, and
If you did not understand
I'm
the situation.
I'm just crazy enough, and like, you know, how we started was making 12 films in 12 months.
Right.
That took 20 months.
Right.
That, you know, I have made a film start to finish in a month. I have made an
Oh, of course.
totally improv film with 6 cameras in 3 days.
Sure.
I
Right.
mean, like, you
yeah,
know,
we've done some crazy things.
if I say I'm gonna do a thing, like, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
So I just thought, well, if this has any shot of getting done, I think I'm the person that has to do it. Like, now it's not. Now
Right.
it's like, it's more serious. It's like, no, I have to make this happen.
Well, and I'm really happy you did, because these women had such enthusiasm and they had such verve and there was such joy, and it
Yeah.
meant so much to them
Yeah. Well,
to see
and
this come together. And there was really, for a couple of them, you know, they had taken off work and there was no other time that they could do it. And
they might have been 16-hour days for you.
well,
But
that's
they were
true.
not for
They were
me.
longer for you because we've got to get you somebody who will load. See, here's the thing. You won't trust anybody to load the footage for you.
No, I don't. I really don't.
So you're always going to have like a 2 or 3 hours at the end of the day. That's not
Every time
cool.
I've had someone load my
Yes.
footage and my video and audio,
Yeah.
every time I've had that happen, somebody's fucked up.
Yeah.
And I just like,
But isn't
if it's gonna get fucked up,
isn't
I
that
need to fuck it
isn't
up.
that fuck up worth you not having
No, to lose a whole half day's audio,
Oh,
no.
Jeez. I mean,
For a
got-
section of my film to sound like shit, no.
okay, there's got to be a better way to do this.
And I also can't trust the person because sometimes people screw up and they freak out and they just disappear.
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah.
That did happen.
So
and we're like, where did they go? And then you found out that they had fucked up, and it was like, oh, that's where they
well,
went.
I did give that particular person a stern warning that I would beat the shit out of them if they fucked up my files.
Okay.
My tired, barrel was pretty depleted.
Right,
It
right.
took about a week.
Oh man, yeah.
I
it
got
was
like
crazy.
3 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah, I mean,
And like, I was like, okay, am I tired? Cause like, we used to work insane hours on films,
sure.
just like
Sure, of course.
3 days in a row working on a
No,
film.
on our movie Little by Peep, I remember falling asleep on the stairs on the way up.
Yeah.
From an all night.
You couldn't even walk into the house.
No,
You
I
fell asleep
couldn't.
on the stairs.
No, I did.
And like, we would be lucky to get like 2 hours of sleep.
Mhm.
But, and like on some films, I've had to like literally stay awake to wake you up while you were driving.
Mhm.
That's happened several times. Once
Yes.
in a snowstorm. So I was like, well, is it my age? Because I'm approaching 50 now, and I'm like,
I'm
is
past 50.
this just an age thing? And I looked at another woman on my crew, and she's like, I don't know, 24, 25, maybe not even that old. And she was like, I literally saw her stumble over her own feet. She was so tired. So the party yesterday.
This is a party where I play in a band. I've done it for 5 years,
Yeah,
6 years.
5 or 6 years.
I don't know. happens same time every year.
First week of July.
And
first Saturday of July.
It is you have to prepare for it. You have to do
rehearsals.
You got to learn a bunch of new songs.
Researching what dishes I want to bring because I want to bring something really good.
Always want to bring something Southern, something that people are going to be talking about. You want to be the talk of the party.
Yeah, well, and I like to bring things like in the North, for the Yankees. I like to bring like a very Southern dish.
You brought preacher potatoes.
Yeah, some might call them funeral potatoes. The Midwest, you might call them
funeral potatoes.
Yeah,
I'm glad that's not what we called them.
Well, in the Midwest, you might call them party potatoes.
Party potatoes. So wait, they could be for weddings or basically funerals, any event.
They freeze well.
Oh, okay.
They sit on a table in the heat well.
Okay.
Because like they're baked.
Right.
Something happened. I used a few.
The coconut cake was fine. It was fine.
I used a few different
ingredients.
People
were fine with the coconut cake. There was a guy, okay? He was like built. He was like a big muscle dude, all right? Looks like he hadn't eaten a carbohydrate since he was 4, okay? And he had it, and he said, "Yeah, well, what's good about it is it's so light." And you thought it was heavy.
Yeah, well... It did not turn out the way that I wanted it to. And I can't follow a recipe. Like I know you can't. I read it, I like ingest it.
You purposefully change the recipe.
Oh yeah, I purposefully fuck with it because I think it must be able to be done.
You're an editor and you edit.
I edit everything. No, it's like I was born to edit.
You were born to edit.
I mean, I edit everything.
You were born under an Adobe sign. There, that one got a joke. All right, I got to laugh. Yes.
Oh my God, that was funny. The thing that happened though was the staff. There's usually 6 people or so who are staffing this party because it's like big, a lot of people there creating a lot of trash.
300 plus there yesterday. Maybe more.
Somebody's got to do the grill.
Oh yeah. He has a bartender. There's a grill master, and there were supposed to be like 4 staff.
Yeah, through a series of events, there was no staff this time.
There was no staff,
and I was like, okay, well, I get that. You can't just have everybody show up and things not happen. So I volunteered to help, and
I volunteered as well.
Yeah, you volunteered.
I was helping too.
And then a lot of people threw in.
People, yeah.
I had 6 people making shish kebabs with me.
Yes. And you made 108 hamburgers.
I'm pretty sure, it was at least 108
hamburgers. quarter-pound hamburgers. They were serious burgers.
I had a ginormous pile of meat. He had some grass-fed beef.
Mm-hmm.
He had some Kobe ground beef.
Okay.
And then he had normal old ground beef.
Right. And then he mixed them together.
And you're not supposed to overwork hamburger meat like that.
Okay.
And I was a little concerned that I was overworking it.
Really? See, this is new.
They were so tender.
I had no idea that there was an overworking concern.
Well, there's certain things you shouldn't overwork. Brownie mix, you should not overwork. Hamburger meat, you shouldn't overwork. There's certain things.
Don't overwork the boobs.
Well, no, you can overwork them.
No. You spend too much time on the nipples.
No.
Yeah, see? You overwork them.
Men always spend too much time on the nipples.
Overworking.
Some women don't even have very tender nipples. They're not feeling anything. That's just a thing you're enjoying.
No, that's the way I am with my nipples. Okay?
Are they very tender, though?
No. My nipples are nothing. Okay?
Well,
but the nipple has no sexual arousal. There's zombie dead skin on my chest.
Well, it's the same for some women. So it's just dumb when a guy's sitting there wasting time on it. Hey.
What?
Let's do this later. Sometimes I wish that we would have met sooner so we could have been together longer.
Oh, that's a lovely thought.
We had our 22nd wedding anniversary.
That's true, we did.
On that movie.
But we completely forgot it.
Well, for most of the day we forgot it.
Yes, we did, yes. I wanted to point out because, we do some pop things on
We
this
do?
show.
Mhm.
Yeah, some pop things, some pop references.
Pop
some
references? Okay.
We watched a couple of movies very recently.
Okay.
They are hot movies right now on the streamers.
Hitman.
No, not Hitman. That
Beekeeper.
was not...
Godzilla.
Yes, Godzilla. Godzilla.
Oh, that was trash.
Wow.
I called it, though. I mean, I knew the second
yeah.
I saw that little tiny orange monkey, I was like, this is going to suck.
Well,
and it sucked.
Well, what was really interesting about the tiny little orange monkey?
He was like beating up giant apes.
Well, no, there was this whole like storyline of like
his dad
King
was
Kong,
like enslaved.
Well, yeah, that too. But I don't know if that was his dad or not. But it was like King Kong had to like, learn how to like train him. And how he learned to train him was beating him. He beat him.
Yeah, it was like whiplash there for a minute.
It was so weird.
That
and then
movie was so
there
bad.
were slave monkeys, and then there was like an evil guy who like rolled in.
I don't even understand.
King
Like,
Scar. Oh my god.
I guess they were like, this whole Godzilla being blue when he supercharges.
Yeah.
This is getting old. Let's change it to purple for no reason.
I mean, I was fine with that, but I mean, my issue with the whole thing was it was just, first of all,
oh god,
poor Rebecca Hall.
Okay, but hold on.
I love Rebecca Hall. She is a great actress. She has been in great things.
Every single line of dialogue was just story exposition.
Just explaining what's
happening.
Fuck was going on.
I hate that. Like, can we not like learn as we go?
Yeah.
Why do we just automatically know everything?
It was like the movie was an audiobook at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like you're watching the movie and then there's somebody who's explaining to you what you're watching.
But the amount of dialogue in the audiobook, it'd be like a 5-minute audiobook. It was only dialogue that like said, oh, this is why this is happening. This is what's going to happen. And this is how it's going to happen.
This is the freeze monster that caused the ice age. And he uses pain to control. Well, I watched him using pain. I watched him. He had his little stick. And then the freeze monster would go, ah! Okay, that was pain. I saw the pain. I didn't need you to tell me that the freeze monster was in pain.
If you're so insecure about your filmmaking that you're not communicating it well, communicate it well.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to say it.
Do a better job showing it. Okay? Yeah. Have a little pain emoji come up over the top
Ouch.
of it. Ouch.
Little Band-Aid emoji.
Exactly. Just a bunch of like X's and O's and just like
so bad.
Like a cartoon.
It was so bad. Everybody was talking about
But I want to talk about Rebecca Hall. She's like a great actress. And she's in this thing. And you just her soul is just dying. This is my acting moment. I'm talking to the girl who is my adopted daughter, and she has to go and talk to Mothra and convince Mothra to mediate the conflict between Godzilla and Kong so they could fight King Scar.
Okay.
And the ice monster.
What you just said was taken directly from dialogue. That's how shit it was. Okay, but look. This is the bad thing about Rebecca Hall being in that movie. She was in the one previous to this one.
Yes, she was.
Okay. That means like she's locked in.
Oh, she is.
And they are only getting shittier.
We watched The Beekeeper, and that was a different kind of bad. That was a different kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there were like great actors in it. Like Jeremy Irons is in this movie. Jeremy Irons. Jason Statham. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. And Felicia. I mean, I love the way it begins. It's the concept of the way that movie begins is great.
So the concept of the movie is this woman gets scammed by a bunch of those scammy people.
Right, by the scammy people.
Where
she loses $2 million to the scammy people.
Yeah, she's like, not only her and her retirement and stuff.
It's like a charity.
She's like a charity she's on the board of that they get a hold of.
Which is kind of ridiculous too.
Yeah, I mean... But like she's like, I don't know, know. Should I type in this password? Okay, yeah, I'm going to type it in. And then she has no money, but she kills herself. Spoiler alert.
Well, what's funny is they're cutting back and forth a la Wolf of Wall Street, where this guy in this ridiculous costume.
We're going to get her.
It's like, all right, guys, this is where we get her. You know, kind of a vibe. But see, the beekeeper. Yeah. And here's the thing about the beekeeper.
He's a beekeeper.
Everything that happens in this movie is related to bees, hives.
I mean, he says
honey,
like when you get a hornet in the
you get a hornet in the hive. When you get a hornet in the hive, sometimes you got. and then there's one moment where he's like, sometimes you have to kill the queen.
Any of these movies are watchable.
Oh, sure.
With popcorn.
Yeah.
And just to laugh at.
Yes.
You know, so in that context, they are fun.
They are entertainingly stupid.
Yeah. It's like watching the A-Team.
It is now time for the return of our series, reading from the script, Origian. What, Tracy? What are you looking at me like that for?
Because I'm really hot and I don't want to do it.
No, well, we have to do it, babe.
Okay.
That's part of this. Okay. Well, okay. Last time.
I don't remember what happened last time.
Well, I'll tell you this. We are about to
we're about to go to space.
We're about to go into outer space, folks.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
Let's
okay,
go to
get ready.
Interior, Emmeline's room, day. A tonal voice comes through the public address system. Emmeline is packing the last of her personal items that she's allowed to take.
Good morning, travelers. Today is the day. Your lifelong journey starts now. Please inspect biopurity suits before dressing. Oxygen scrubbing will be in effect. Bus A is identifying males and Bus B is identifying females. Both will leave at 11 a.m. Only pack that which is beneficial to your mission and your happiness. They will be press en route, but we ask that you not engage with them unless you have been designated as a representative of the Ascension Project. Today is a great day.
Emmeline finishes packing her small bag. On a whim, she sticks her ocean light in. Originauts are all coming out of their rooms dressed identically, wearing their protective gear and carrying bags.
Exterior, Origian Headquarters Day. Originauts are lined up and get on the bus.
Interior, bus day. Emmeline looks out the window as the landscape slides by, knowing she may not see it again. Robbie sits in the seat next to her. They pull up to the private airport where they will board the space transport.
Exterior, Tarmac Day. Reporters are kept at a distance by Origian security officers. An Origian employee walks up to Emmeline. Mr. Solange told me to take care of your dog.
I'm allowed to take him.
He needs to ride in the cargo hold of the plane like any item or pet would.
Robbie, go with this man and obey his commands for... How long is the flight?
You're scheduled to rendezvous in 8 hours.
Follow his commands for 10 hours.
Thank you. Robbie, come.
The employee walks toward the hold of the plane and Robbie follows along behind him. Emmeline climbs the stairs and takes a long look around before entering the shuttle.
Interior Shuttle Day. Surprisingly, the entire cabin is full of people. The Originauts are sitting in their own section, but staff are scattered throughout the rest of the transport. There is a buzz of excitement in the recirculated air. The pilot comes over the speaker.
Welcome aboard Origian Stardust 1. We will be taking off momentarily. If this is your first flight outside the atmosphere, know that we will be traveling between Mach 3 and 5. That's before we engage our secondary drive. If you feel sick or have any discomfort, please inform one of the stewards. For those wearing biopurity suits, you can attach the hose next to your seat, which will act as your oxygen during the trip. If you need to use the facilities, simply detach the hose and your scrubber will resume. In the event of a water landing, we've gone the wrong direction. Sorry, stupid pilot joke. On a personal note, I'm more than honored to be flying with this most precious cargo. Let's give a round of applause for our travelers.
Everyone applauds.
If you don't watch us editing that part of the script, you're going to totally miss a whole thing that happened.
Right.
Where Jon insists on having a stupid pilot joke.
Pilots make jokes. They do. And there's always a stupid pilot joke. Sometimes there's 4 or 5 stupid pilot jokes.
Wow.
I think that I was very generous and very
Only
judicious, only wanting one pilot joke.
Okay.
And I thought it was a pretty solid pilot joke.
Well, you came up with it.
Thank you.
It was very quick of you.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't very quick. It took me about 5 minutes to figure it out. But
True. And I only cried once.
Exactly. Speaking of pilots.
Oh, I thought you were going to say speaking of crying.
No. But speaking of pilots, there was one other thing that happened on the trip. And we saw one of these signs that said, yeah, exactly. They say, what?
Speed limit enforced by air.
Yes, speed limit enforced by air. And,
how?
Well, okay. I looked it up.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's bullshit.
Well, that's what it says, though. Here's the thing. Those signs still exist, but most states have abandoned this idea. Okay. So what they do is
dumb idea.
Well, okay, what they do is they take like, a little Cessna plane. There's a point where you start and
they measure the distance and how fast it takes
it took you to get there. And then what they do is they don't come down and give you a ticket.
Was a plane gonna land on top of you? No.
It's like a little parachute. It comes down and drops a ticket in your window.
I thought maybe they would ticket you like by mail or something.
That's the way I was thinking too. But no, actually what they'll do is they will call down to the ground.
Okay, this is
and
so
a
dumb.
Cop there will
this is
give you a
so
ticket.
dumb because the cop needs to be sitting in that area.
Yes.
Or right after that area.
Right.
And then there's like, oh, it's a black SUV. Which one?
That's true.
Which one?
That's true. That's true because
How
they're
would
not
you know?
You're right. They're
you
not
can't see the license plate.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest idea and waste of money.
Well, yeah, and they've realized that, and almost all states have gotten rid of this, but they still have the signs.
Yeah, sure, because it's like
stupid people.
Yeah,
are like looking at the sky.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
right.
like to scare you.
Yeah.
Into behaving. A friend of mine and a fellow filmmaker was talking about like what she was going through over the last month, and she regretted that she had wasted time over the last month. If something is good for you, it's moving you forward.
Right.
If something is bad for you,
right,
it's keeping you from the thing that you want to do, that you've said you really want to do. Like, I really want to make this project. I really want to work on this film. I really want to write this script, whatever. And the things that are keeping you from that, the distractions that just life will place in your way, you have to be very deliberate and notice the distraction.
How do you identify what is a distraction and what is just laziness on your part?
Well, and you could be using the distraction as a reason to be lazy.
Right.
You started writing a new script, and I challenged you to write on it for every day for 2 hours or something. Yeah. And you negotiated by every Thursday you would have worked on it for 5 hours.
For 5 hours.
And the reasons that you gave to not do it that day, like, well, I can't possibly do it today.
They were excellent reasons. They were tremendous
I have to wash the dog.
Does the dog need washed? Yes, the dog needs washed.
Look, there are things that are going to last.
He's walking around and he's sticky and smelly.
And you know what? That can happen after you do the task that's more important. If you prioritize your art.
I think it was more important to the dog.
Okay.
He doesn't care about my
And you've also had a whole week to do it.
Oh, well.
And that day was the day that it absolutely had to be done.
That's like the classic
lazy.
That's like the classic 1950s thing. Do you want to go out on Friday? I have to wash my hair.
Yeah. No, that's just lazy.
I have to wash my hair. Is that different than taking a shower?
Yes. Back then. Yes.
Okay. So it was like a whole thing.
Oh, it was a whole thing.
Okay, so people have stopped washing their hair?
Well, in that way. You would not, you would often wash your body and not your hair. Oh. Washing your hair means that you're doing a specific routine. You're going to be drying it specifically, rolling it, setting it, fixing it, and then you're wearing a hairnet to bed.
Oh, this is this is like the Pink Ladies,
like
in Greece kind of a thing.
Only old ladies do this anymore, pretty much.
Okay.
But it's like, yes, it was a whole thing. So I was having a conversation with this same filmmaker.
Okay.
And I was talking to her about the importance of networking.
Yes.
And then Ozzy and you come in and tell the story. And I turn to her and I go, this is the most quintessential example of networking I've ever heard.
So I'm walking by. Ozzy grabs me and he goes, do you remember you and I met at some networking event like a few months ago? I'm like,
in the city.
Right. And I'm like, okay, sure we did. Right. And he goes, and you told me about this party and you told me about this guy, this keyboard player who plays at the party.
Right. So then he's working his job and
Verizon.
The keyboard player comes into his work.
Right. And he recognizes him.
Yeah.
And he's like,
striking up a conversation.
Yeah, by the way, this guy told me about this party and he told me that you play it.
Mm-hmm.
And the keyboard player brings up the fact, also in his conversation, I think he had told him that, he was involved in like social media and, all this type of stuff. And he gives him a job.
So
this guy gives him a job.
The guy that Jon met in a networking event and told about this party is now working with the guy that he heard was at the party. And then the musician knows that a neighbor is starting a studio.
Right.
And then he refers Ozzy to this guy.
Right.
And then he's sitting there talking to the guy, helping him build the studio. And the guy says, yeah, we're having this party. You should
come. My
come.
dad is having this party.
And then he's like, wait, this is the party.
Right.
That this guy he said
like,
a pink cowboy suit.
Pink cowboy suit. And it goes and it circles back around. And
then he's at the party.
And he sees me.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I
mean, that is networking. Well, and I told him.
And he did a brilliant job of taking a piece of little information, a little breadcrumb that I gave him.
Yes. And he followed it full circle.
He fully consumed that and got as much out of that as he possibly could.
That is good networking.
Mm-hmm. And he was wearing a really cool outfit. And then he said, my wife picked it out. And you were like, there you go.
Good wife.
The good wife. That's what good wives do.
That, like, I don't.
You let me not wear pants today, though. So is that what good wives do?
Yeah.
Nice.
You think that's for you, but it's for me.
Oh, yeah.
You have really nice legs.
Oh, thank you. They are the legs of a 1960s swimwear model.
Yes,
they are.
Like, I don't know. You could be a female leg model.
Sexy girl. Yes, I am. From my waist down, I'm like Bridget Bardot.
I don't think the waist.
Well, no, but below the happy place.
Groin down.
Yeah.
Like high thigh.
Below
down.
my happy place, I'm Bridget Bardot. Yes.
It's hard not to get romantic about movies. Thanks for listening to Married to Movies. Jon and Tracy will meet you for breakfast tomorrow.